So, DA Becton, you're the first woman and African American to hold this office since 1850. What did it truly take, personally and professionally, to get here?
Wow, that's a really interesting question. Well, I think the preparation, pretty much my life's work has been part of the preparation. Prior to becoming the district attorney, I served as a judge for 22 years here in Contra Costa County, and of course, I was a lawyer before that. But that really gave me an undergirding and a lot of experience in the courtroom and in and around the courtroom and hearing all kinds of cases from murder to petty theft to probate to you name it, environmental cases. So it really gave me a good undergirding. And also serving, having been elected as the presiding judge of the court by my peers, it also gave me an opportunity to enhance my management experience and working with budgets. And that's in addition to other positions that I'd held prior to becoming a judge, where I served in management positions as well.
Wow, that's amazing. You have had so much experience and you've been through a whole journey to get where you are today. So it's very inspiring. Can I ask, what moment or case made you realize you needed to step off the sidelines and start shaping the system from the DA's office?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, I don't know if it was a particular moment. I think it sort of happened incrementally over time as the laws began to change, and it just became very clear that the prosecutor wielded all of the power in the courtroom, or most of it, I should say. And so it wasn't necessarily me making a particular decision. We had an incident here in our county with the former district attorney who had to resign, and it was really the community of Contra Costa County, the people who really, one, demanded a very open and fair process, and two, who encouraged me to put my name in because they really wanted to see something different in the criminal justice system.
That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing. So, looking back at your college years and early career, what unexpected choice or habit ended up shaping your path the most? Something people wouldn't guess.
I think part of it was really just rekindling my dream and remembering that I'd always wanted to be a lawyer. And that gave me the incentive to really buckle down because sometimes we first get to college and we're sort of having a little much too much fun. And it really gave me the incentive to buckle down and to hone in on my goal, which was to become a lawyer so that I could really serve my community and effectuate change.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. So, this question I'm really curious about. If the state handed your office $50 million tomorrow with zero restrictions, what's the very first thing you'd fix? And what's been the biggest obstacle to doing it already?
Hmm. Money. Money. I think the biggest thing that I would fix is right now on the top of my agenda. I guess there's a couple of things, but one is being able to reduce what we called our clearance rates, especially as it relates to non fatal shootings. The clearance rate is when a crime is committed, when someone is actually apprehended and then brought in for prosecution. That clearance rate, not just here in Contra Costa County, but really around the country, is only about 30 something percent. And that means that there's a large percentage of folks who have harmed others who are not being held accountable. So I would take a big chunk of that money and use it with our law enforcement partners so that we could have greater resources to solve more of those cases and bring justice to victims of crime, especially unsolved shootings. And then I would take another big portion of that in that same vein to support victims of crime who have been victimized but did not get services because of the fact that we did not have cases that were solved. So that probably would be one of my number one priorities. And I guess number two would being able to enhance our capability to have data transparency so that we could really freely share data and information about the great work that our office is doing.
Wow, thank you very much for sharing that with us, DA Becton. So, public safety has become one of the most politically charged issues of 2025. What do you think people get wrong about crime trends? And what's the real challenge your office is facing right now?
In terms, I think I don't know that people get it wrong. I wouldn't say it that way, but I think with the proliferation of so much information that is available to us so quickly through social media, that we also tend to get a lot of images from around the country, indeed from around the world, that really kind of make us feel unsafe. And even though incidents may not be happening necessarily in your particular community, there really is still that fear that I think everyone has. And the interesting thing about that is that crime has actually gone down, and particularly here in Contra Costa County, our violent crime has gone down 7% in the past year, as well as property crimes. And so I think one of the issues, though, is having so many images coming at us, so much information available to us so quickly through social media, it leaves us with a feeling of unsafe.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Speaking of information overload right now, a big reason for that is artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
How do you see AI changing the work of prosecutors, and what should future lawyers prepare for?
Wow, AI is everywhere, right? So no matter what we're doing, if we're spell checking a document, it we're using AI, and so the main thing about AI is that it is a very helpful tool when it is used properly. So that's what we're really training for, to make sure that we are adhering to very high ethical standards as we utilize a great tool that can enhance the efficiency of our work, but we want to make sure that we're doing that we're using those tools in a way that it also protects the integrity of the work that we're doing.
Thank you for sharing. So, people often think a DA only prosecutes crimes. What's the biggest misconception about your role that would surprise the public if they knew the truth?
I think the biggest misconception is that that's all we do. And the path to community safety it's a path that includes a lot of components. So I think people would be surprised to know that in addition to prosecuting cases, that our office is very much involved in prevention of crime, that we are very much involved in education, and that we're involved in community service. So there's so many spaces on that we're involved in that are all part of that pathway to community safety. And so in all of those spaces, we are very, very active. Prosecution, of course, is a large percentage of our work, but we're also working in many other spaces on that path and goal towards community safety.
Wow, that's so amazing to see that, to hear directly from you that it's not just, prosecuting crimes. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of work, and the
Mhm.
fact that you and your office are working together to do everything and, organize and keep everything, stay up to date on so many different things is so inspiring, and it truly is so important. And we're very grateful to have you as our district attorney of Contra Costa County. If you could restart your career from
Hmm.
zero, knowing everything you've learned, what would you do differently?
Well, I think if I could restart from zero, the first thing that I would do is I would trust my own voice. I would trust my voice, um, uh, to feel confident that in every room that I walk in, that I belong there. The other thing that I think I would do very differently is to seek a wide variety of mentorship. I've spoken to so many different people in leadership, and I think one of the things that we all have in common is that I mean, we didn't get to these positions by ourselves, that we've all had great mentors. And so I would tell my younger self to make sure that I'm seeking a wide variety of mentors to help and guide me on the path. And then finally, to make sure you're following your dreams. Find something that you love to do and do it with passion and do it with conviction. And don't be afraid of your own lived experiences, and don't be afraid of using your own voice, because you belong in every room where decisions are being made.
Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing that with both me and everyone who is watching this. So, can I ask, how would you say that youth and young people should approach mentors and finding people to learn from and seeking things to learn just in general?
Sure. I think just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You would be surprised at how many people who are in leadership positions or in position, they don't have to necessarily be leadership, but in a position where you think you could learn from them. People are so eager to help and to want to be involved in helping you to develop and to follow your dreams. So just ask, approach respectfully and ask if you could have a few minutes of their time so that they could share their experiences and advice with you. I think you'll be very surprised at how receptive people are to helping.
Thank you very much. That's very interesting. I think a lot of the time students are almost intimidated by professionals
Mm-hmm.
because, it's exciting to hear about the amazing work they've accomplished. And we only dream that we're able to, accomplish a percentage of that. And well, that's why we're studying, right now as students in college. So it's very nice to hear directly from you that we really should be trying our best and just staying curious and reaching out.
Yes.
Is there anything else on that same note that you would like to share?
Follow your dreams. That's always my constant advice is to follow your dreams and use that word dreams as an acronym to understand that there's a lot of components to that. Include so dream big. Don't try to limit your dreams. Don't just like I said, don't limit your voice. Understand that you belong in all the spaces where decisions are being made, and be okay to see yourself there, and then to follow that passion, that thing that drives you to go forward.
That's very insightful. Thank you so much, DA
Mhm.
Becton. That's
Thank you.
definitely something that many students can learn from. And it's also very inspiring because you followed your dreams, and here's where you're at
Yes, I
today.
am.
You were an attorney, judge, now district attorney. And can I ask you, what made you interested in law in the first place?
Well, I think this really starts from when I was a little girl. I really age myself right now, but I am a child of a period when so much was happening. I mean, we had the civil rights movement, we had the Vietnam War going on, there was women's rights and gay rights and everything that was happening all around us. And one of the things that I learned is that lawyers, we saw them on TV really. Being winning big cases and being able to effectuate change in our society that affected a large variety of people. And that's what kind of gave me the dream because I really wanted to be in that position to help other people, but to do it in a way that could help a lot of people in that way. And so that's what gave me the dream. I was about 8 years old, and I'm glad that I went back and followed that passion.
Wow, it's so amazing to hear that this is something that, you've had your mind set on since you were a little girl, and you lived experiences that sparked your passion even more. Like the times that you were alive, there were,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess all of us are alive, but in the time that you were a kid, there were so many different issues happening and so many different things going on, and you put yourself forward, you learned about it, and now many years later, here's where you are. And I think as a student myself, as an aspiring attorney myself, it's something that I really hope I can also do. I will definitely follow my dreams, and it's really amazing advice to hear from you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much. Thank you for your time, DA Becton,
It's a
and
pleasure. Thank
thank
you.
you. And thanks for tuning in to KFN.
Thank you.